Hello and welcome to another episode of the VGM Lounge. I am Derek Jones, and with me today, of course, I have...
Matt Holland, once again co-hosting, co-writing, co-starring, co-production manager.
Of course. So, last episode we did the intro music, the opening sequences to games, and the logical next point would be, after you start the game, you usually start in a town. So we have Kingdom Hearts Traverse Town.
And let me tell you though, Derek, going back to last week's topic, there were some that I thought of while composing this list that I'm like, man, I can't believe I forgot about that one for the openings.
Oh yeah. So which ones were you thinking?
Well, the one that definitely hit my mind was the one for Dark Cloud 2, Never Ending Story.
That's another good one, yeah.
That's a good one.
Donkey Kong Countries both have great ones. Persona 3 has a really good one as well. Shout out to Michael, who suggested those ones. Thank you very much for that comment. Again, to anyone, if you have comments for ones that you would have liked to hear, throw that in there. I love to hear them, and we'll consider them for the next time that episode comes around, or that theme.
Anyway, but yeah, going back to this week's theme, towns/city. Let me tell you, I had a hard time going through trying to pick out towns and not have them all be from Final Fantasy games.
Right, Final Fantasy, Pokemon. My thing was, I had a pretty good set list of a lot of ones you'd expect, and then talking to my brother, Brandon, he might appear on an episode later. He's another huge video game player. He loves video game music. And he threw me out the suggestion that he thought I had too many RPGs, and I looked back, I was like, you're right, I could really change it up and do, because most RPG towns, they're peaceful, they've got kind of the same rhythm, so I was like, let me go outside of the box, kind of try to find things that are towns, but not necessarily peaceful or not an RPG. So I think I've got some good surprising ones here.
Oh, good. Hopefully, I will say most of mine are definitely from the RPG genre. But I do have one that will probably throw you for a loop.
All right, well, I started off first episode, so I think it's your time to start this episode. So what do you got for me?
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to start off, and it's because, well, it's got a remake coming out soon.
So go ahead and tell us what that game is, Matt.
Well, the game is Final Fantasy VIII. And for the life of me, it's still a game, it's still a Final Fantasy where it's just like, ooh, I love to play it. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, it's not that great, I understand.
I've come to appreciate it. And actually, that being said, I think the release came out yesterday as of the recording of this.
Oh, excellent. I haven't even made it off disc 1 yet. I'm literally at the end of it, so I can just start over and not have to worry about all of that magic draw grinding I did in the dream sequence.
Oh, jeez. That might be a playthrough that we do on the channel. But, yeah, let's load up Final Fantasy VIII. What song from Final Fantasy VIII is it?
Well, I was thinking about the towns, where to start. And, I do enjoy where you start off, which is Balamgard. It's a very nice, peaceful one. But the one that really sticks in my mind the most, and that is the capital of the Galbadia district, Dealing City.
So, that's a good one. I really like the kind of jazzy rhythm to this one.
And then that's why I picked it. Is it has that nice like jazziness to it. It's like you're in the city, but at the same time, it feels like also kind of sleazy at the same time.
Oh, I've got the perfect kind of sleazy city, and I think I'm gonna play that for my next one. But I really like, yeah, I like how it's like, you can kind of feel how it's like it's a weird blend of like gallantly rich, but also like a hub of like culture kind of.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, Dealing City. I mean, it's it's the capital city. Um, so I mean, that's when that's where the president is. That's where like a lot of like military stuff's happening. So yeah, it's you're gonna have a lot of people. It's big. It's bustling. You got the train going to it as well.
Yeah, it's a good one. I really like that one.
Yeah. Plus,
I like the.
You go to that city a lot.
Oh yeah, you go there. You go there a few times. I really like the hi-hats, the cymbal work on the drums.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of them. He just kind of like really hits those over and over again, and I love them.
Yeah. This is my favorite part. It's like the blaners.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Keeping in that vein, what's your kind of sleazy town city theme?
See, I was gonna save this one for a little bit later, but you mentioned the sleaze, and I have a song that perfectly describes this. This is another game made by Square, though it's out of the Final Fantasy name per se. I'm gonna play you Bravely Default, Florum, the Flower Town.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a good one. You weren't expecting that, were you?
How did I forget about that one? Because it's like my favorite town theme.
Oh, I love this town theme. Bravely Default has so many good town themes. I was debating like all of them, but
oh my,
I really like this one because
my mind.
right, yeah, there's so many good games and it's so hard to pick just a few soundtracks. But I love this song because you hear the City of Flowers, you go there and you're like, oh my god, it's beautiful, and this theme hits you and you're like, wait a minute. Because it's got like a touch of class, but then it's really sleazy at the same time. And within like, I would say a half hour of getting to this point, you're like, oh, I see. I get it. I totally get why this song is so sleazy.
Yeah, I mean, sleazy is a way to put it. I mean, I would probably also say it's very posh.
Oh, it's posh? Yeah. So let's get into it. Bravely Default, Florum, the Flower Town. Such a good one. I love this song.
it was up until like that point in the game. I'm like, yeah, okay, Bravely Default is really good. And I like the soundtrack to this stuff. And it's
Great
just
music.
Like, as soon as I hit that town, I was just like, I'm home.
Yeah, I heard the song. I was like, oh my god, I love this. Like, this was the point where I'm like, one, I love this game. Two, the soundtrack is amazing. Let alone the battle themes. Good lord, the boss theme is one of my favorite boss themes in any video game.
Yeah, and we'll get to those.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I guarantee you're gonna hear more Bravely Default on this podcast.
Oh definitely. Yeah. But I mean, and it gets you like in the very beginning with the just that bass. Just the,
oh yeah. And what would you call this instrument? The main lead instrument? It's definitely like some kind of string guitar, but like it's like a nylon guitar kinda. But not quite. Guitar? It's not a nylon guitar. It's like some sort of, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know what instrument this is, but I love it. Maybe it's like
my years in band, I should know instruments, but
it's like it's like kind of a sitar, but not.
I mean, it actually might be.
Yeah, it's definitely got it's like a weird Indian, but not quite. But I really love how it's like poshly, it's sleazy, it's beautiful, but it's also like it just sounds kind of dirty.
It's definitely something that, like, I don't know, like you bust up into like an old brothel or something, or like a high-end brothel, not an old one.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to the old brothel.
No, you don't go to the old brothel. But yeah, it's like a high-end brothel, but also like it's a beautiful facade that like this place is clearly on the up and up, and then you go and you're like, what is going on in this sleazy underbelly?
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's the perfect town that's just like, look at how grand and how extravagant everything is. Look at us. We're like, we're high up there. We have money. Come see us, dance, sing. And then, like, right underneath it, it's just like, that's where all the rogues and the thieves are. And they're like, oh, what kind of...
Yeah. It's like the town that always wins Best Town Award, but all the people who live there are either like all brothels or like drug deals and things like that. And you're like, this has a completely different inside.
Yeah, just like, was it Hot Fuzz?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
town?
Definitely reminds me of like what that would have. But yeah, I love that song. So what do you have for us next?
Yeah. All right. So keeping in the trend that I just had of new versions of things popping out, and this one just happened. But I decided to go with not the new music because, well, sadly, I don't have the game yet, or expansion, I should say. But I've decided to go with the town theme for Monster Hunter World of Astra.
Okay.
And it did have two. It does have two different versions, one for day, one for night. But I will say, of all of the Monster Hunter games that I have played, there's something about this particular town theme that makes me feel, yes, I am this hunter. This is like, it gets me into the character and the environment a little bit.
Absolutely.
Especially like, when you first turned it on.
Oh yeah, yeah. And with Monster Hunter being the way they are, basically you go out and hunt a big monster, come back to town and make armor out of it. And town is probably where you spend almost half of your entire time playing the game.
I mean, yeah, I'd say probably more in town.
Yeah, because you spend time looking through 50%. Skills, setting up your gear, crafting the gear, looking through all the different weapon trees. You definitely spend a long amount of your time in the towns in Monster Hunter. Oh yeah. So let's hear that song that plays while you're in that town.
Here it is, Astra, Daytime Monster Hunter World.
That's a really good one.
It is, and like I said, for as far as like Monster Hunter goes, this particular theme has been the one that has been ingrained in my mind more than the others.
Mm-hmm. I really like all the little like nuances, like the little like you can kind of hear like a walking noise, like a flowery noise. You hear like the little rain stick noise. It definitely has like a bunch of things are going on around you in this city.
Yeah, I mean, and that's exactly what's happening. There's a lot going on around you at all times.
Yeah, it really captures that feel, and I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, and capturing the feel of, I mean, for me, like I said earlier, it captures the feeling of, I mean, this is like the song that I feel will play if I'm playing like D&D or Pathfinder. Like this is like the first town my character walks up into, and it's just like all this stuff's going on.
Oh yeah,
and it's just it gets me into that like that RP that RP mode.
Yeah,
I'm just like, I can't wait to get into this.
It's perfect for like a hub, which is exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you that feeling. Also, it's a long song. That being said, before the first loop, quite a long. It's a long piece.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a decent amount before you hit the repeat.
And I like it. I mean, it's got multiple different layers that like goes through like a story, and I do think the beginning part is my favorite part. The bum ba ba bum ba ba bum ba bum bum bum. I think that's my favorite, but I do like the whole song.
For me.
I like the whole soundtrack.
Oh yeah, it's. I mean, I can't wait for the battle themes because then it's just gonna be like, which monster? Let's spin the wheel.
Oh my god. Spoiler alert.
It might have to be a whole episode on its own.
Oh yeah, we're probably eventually going to do a Monster Hunter focus because there's so many songs from Monster Hunter that I love. Like not each monster has its own theme, but a good majority
Just
of them
about.
do. And a lot of them are really good. So definitely that's going to be happening at some point because I love Monster Hunter and I'm a huge Monster Hunter fan. So yeah, that was one I enjoyed a lot.
Yep.
All right.
So that's what I had. What's next in your set list that you got for me?
I can follow up with another atmospheric song like that one. I can kind of go back to a more traditional kind of city. Or I can go to an unexpected city or a more hardcore one.
Surprise me.
Surprise you. I don't know if I'm ready to hit you with the real surprise yet, but I think I've got a good one. I'll follow suit for you one more time. I'm gonna go with one that is very atmospheric. This is a song from Tales of Graces, which came out for the Wii and for the PS3. Every city in this game has a different theme, and I think there's about 9 different cities. Each one has a different song. I'm going to play the one for Zavhert, which is it's basically in the hardcore, it's basically hardcore like Russia. The other name of the city is the Iron Wrought Metropolis. And I really like this song because almost the entire rhythm to it is the backbeat, and the backbeat is through like metallic machinery noises.
Oh man, hit me.
I'm gonna play Tales of Graces Zavhert, the Iron Wrought Metropolis. So it's a really short loop, but I really like the way the song is done.
It is a short loop on it, but I mean, I don't know. I like the ambience of it because, like, for an RPG town, and especially for me from like the Tales,
Yeah.
um, like this feels like a survival horror kind of song that I would be playing
Right?
in a way for me.
Basically, the city is it's in enemy territory essentially. Throughout the whole game, you hear of this nation that's basically the evil nation, and you get there and it's covered in snow. It's completely like frozen over, and you get to the first town and it's really poor. You see that basically that this war is happening because this nation is completely impoverished. They have like no resources. And then you get to the next city, which is the capital city, and it's huge, and it's metallic, and it's steampunk, and everything is like giant steam pipes and metal, which is, not common for the rest of the game, but this city is
Yeah.
all industrial. And this is the music that you're greeted with, and you're like, wow, this is amazing for this song, this place.
Yeah, I do really enjoy it. It does have that feeling too, like yeah, this
Yeah.
is a bad place.
Yeah,
Like,
because it's got that steady rhythm, and then when the kind of strings come up and they play the no 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 kind of back rhythm, it kind of has like an oppressed feeling, if that makes sense.
yeah, I get you. I can feel you on that one.
Yeah, I really like that. Really simple, really short track, but I really like the feeling it has.
There's a lot you can pull from Tales.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, that's just one song from one city of one of the Tales games, and
One of the Tales games.
there's like at least 12. So Tales is probably another series that I love, and another one we'll probably hear more of, most assuredly.
Oh, definitely.
So
Let's see. Well, I had one that I was going to bring up. Then when you mentioned the snow, I'm like, well, I do have a town that is in the snow, so let me play that one.
okay, I like how we're
So
doing this kind of follow me routine over here.
yeah. Now this particular town theme is Snow Point City, and it is actually from the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl series.
I have a Pokemon
Um,
soundtrack, so I guess I know what I'm playing next.
Well, there we go. Yeah, I was going through a lot of town themes for Pokemon, and I can't believe it's taken me this long to realize that like Red and Blue, like four towns share the same theme song, and I'm just like, well, nothing from Red and Blue.
Well, to be fair, that game was pretty early, and most RPGs in that time had one town theme. So for Pokemon to have four different ones,
You're not
that's
wrong.
pretty
You're not wrong.
impressive. I mean, now recent
Yeah.
ones, I think from Ruby Sapphire on, every city had its own theme.
Well, just yeah, I'd say from Ruby Sapphire. I mean,
And
Gold and Silver did have a couple more in its repertoire, but there were still some cities that were just like this one and this one share the
yeah,
same theme.
and that's saying something since
Um,
each Pokemon has what, like 12 or more cities per game.
yeah, pretty much.
So if we're talking just Pokemon, that's at least 7 games. That's talking on one series. That's probably about 50 different town themes we could have picked.
Yeah. And this is the one that I chose because for me, it really has the best feel for the city. I actually really enjoyed the city too. Getting to it was a pain in the butt, just because, well, to get anywhere in Diamond and Pearl, you have to go through the mountains, so you need every HM on the planet
Oh,
to
fun.
go through that game. Yeah, but still, like I was rewarded by this. It's a nice, peaceful, and like immediately get the feeling of this town is all about snow and ice. Snow Point City from Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum.
I like this track. It's very peaceful.
It is. It's a very peaceful, and like I realized that when picking through most of my songs, that I'm just like, wow, a lot of my town themes are very peaceful, and you'll see that with one of my other choices. Um, but like I said, Snow Point City for me, for especially I guess for all of the, and I even went ahead like to current.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously not Sword and Shield because it's not out yet.
Yeah.
But as far as any town that had an ice gym in it, this is one that had the town music the best fit the ice type.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. And I mean, peaceful is kind of the nature of a town theme in a video game for the most part. One I'm going to play here in a little bit is actually going to be completely not the case. But I hope you're ready for that one, because that one might be one of my picks for... I already think it's going to be one of my top of the year, and I think it might be one of yours when you hear it. But we'll get into that later.
Cool.
I do think peaceful, I mean, most towns in RPGs are like a moment of reprieve, and it's a place to, you know, sleep, restock, get a little bit of story, so yeah, peaceful is kind of the name of the game.
And I mean, it is Pokemon, so I mean, they don't get too hardcore
No.
until a little later. But Diamond and Pearl actually has a bunch of tracks that I really enjoy throughout the game, and to be honest, I can't wait to see its remake. And well, with Sword and Shield popping out on the Switch, maybe that means they're saving Diamond and Pearl for that. Who knows?
Yeah. And while we're talking about Pokemon, I'm just gonna go ahead and play the one I picked out from Pokemon. I want to pick one from Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. The song that really sticks out to me as a town theme in that game is Slateport.
Slateport City's a cool place.
I picked Slateport because it's kind of like a turning point. I don't want to go into too much of it, but basically it's the real point. Like, you're kind of landlocked for a short part of the game, and Slateport is where like the rest of the game opens up to you.
Yeah, definitely.
And so this song comes out, and it's got like a feeling of adventure. It's got a feeling of like go out and enjoy the world, which you'd think would be like the first town in the game, you know, because that's where the adventure starts. But it's kind of like this song is like the start of a whole nother part of the adventure, and I think the song encompasses that. And the song also, this town also has a huge market.
Yeah, I mean it's a port city, obviously, and a market city. It's gonna have like a nice bustling sound.
So here comes Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, Pokemon Slateport for the Game Boy Advance. Another short loop that I decided to pick. But yeah, I really like the feel this town has. It captures that that kind of like new beginnings, but also like a market, and I don't know. It's kind of got the feel of like you're exploring a mall almost.
Pretty much. I mean, and it's hilarious when you say that, because then you have like, you know, Mallville like basically right after it.
Yeah, which has an actual mall.
Well, no, not actually.
Oh, no, that's not where the mall is. The mall is later. Yeah, the department. But yeah, I just wanted to play a simple song. You know, just kind of ease us out and figured I'd copy your Pokemon. So why don't you throw us another, Matt?
Yeah. Well, I will say, when you said you had a song, I honestly thought you were going to play Lavender Town for some reason.
I was debating
Because
it. That is
I
a
debated Lavender Town.
that is a shout out to some extra that I was debating because I wanted to have like a weird, not a very atypical town theme, and that is an atypical town theme from Pokemon Lavender Town.
It is. It is the one from Red and Blue, and the early games that is definitely the more like iconic town theme.
Yeah.
For me. But in the vein of Lavender Town and ghosts and being creepy.
Yeah.
So my next song is called "The Silence of Daylight."
Okay. And what?
And it is the town theme for Castlevania 2: Simon's Quest.
There we go. I was hoping to hear this song. It was one that it's not on my list, but it's specifically not on my list because I thought you were going to pick it.
Yeah, and you were right.
I was like, oh man, it has great town themes, Castlevania. I was like, wait, Matt's going to pick this one. I'm just going to leave it off my list because he's already got that covered.
Yeah, and I sat there and I thought for a minute, I'm like, ooh, I want a Castlevania song. I'm like, wait a minute, what Castlevania game has a town theme?
Right? See, that's it. Not all towns have to be an RPG, and if they are an RPG, they don't have to be necessarily peaceful. So, let's get into this.
That's
Castlevania 2. That's a good one.
It makes me want to play the game again, but then I realize it's Simon's Quest, and I don't want to put myself through the torture.
Simon's Quest is an ordeal. But yeah, this goes to show you that not all towns have to be an RPG. It is a very RPG thing, and most of the time when someone says video game town theme, I'm sure their mind first goes to an RPG, but not all of them are an RPG. And that being said, I don't know what to play for my next one because I have two. I have one that is an RPG but is completely not anything similar to any song we've played, and then I have another one that's from not an RPG, similar to Simon's Quest. Well, it's not similar to Simon's Quest, but I just mean it's not an RPG.
Yeah, because I mean, there could be the argument of like, oh, well, Simon's Quest is totally an RPG. You go on a quest. I'm like, well, I mean, it's still a side scrolling.
I mean, it probably falls under action RPG, kind of like Zelda 2 does, because there is a level up system.
Pretty much.
It is an action RPG, but it's definitely not like a turn-based tactical or a JRPG, like the rest of the games we've played.
No, but yeah, I will say definitely. I didn't know the actual name of that song, so when I looked it up, and I'm just like, oh, okay, the Silence of Daylight.
Yeah, it's a good one.
What a perfect name for a town theme song.
So Matt, do you want to hear another not RPG town theme, or an RPG town theme that's not anything like we've played?
Let's go for the not RPG.
All right. So this this game, definitely not an RPG, but definitely still a town. I want to play F-Zero Mute City.
Ooh.
For the SNES.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, bet you weren't expecting that one,
No, no, I wasn't. I wasn't expecting F-Zero at all.
right? But it is a city.
You got me there.
So shout out goes to my brother Brandon on this one. I showed him my track list, and he's like, "You should throw in some extra non-RPGs. How about F-Zero?" I was like, "Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, Mute City is a great theme."
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Brandon, for throwing that one out.
This is a good one.
That's definitely a good pick.
I love the main rhythm to that. Once it gets past that intro, I mean, don't get me wrong, the intro's great too, but this main rhythm to it, I love it. And F-Zero's not a super well-known series. I mean, Captain Falcon definitely is. I almost said Captain America there. Captain Falcon is a well-known character from Smash, but not many people have actually played the intro game F-Zero. But if you've played Smash, you've undoubtedly heard Mute City as a song.
Yeah, I'll definitely say, I don't know, I'll be willing to say maybe 75% of people haven't played F-Zero.
Most likely not.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure they've heard this song in Smash, and it's a great song, and hey, it is a city.
It is a city. I mean, and on that same vein, I mean, you know, I also feel dumb because at that point, hell, was it Corneria?
Corneria is one I was so tempted to play because that song is great. I was really tempted to play Star Fox Corneria. That is one of my favorite songs in the game. But, unfortunately I did not pick it for this episode, but it will probably be in later ones. Flying episode. Expect to see it there.
The flying shooting episode, or hell, I mean, our fighting stage.
That's true. There's a lot of. We'll hear it eventually.
So here we are. So next choice is going back to RPG, of course. This song is the starting song from Dark Cloud 2 for the town of Palm Brinks.
I have a love-hate relationship with this song.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you on that one. But,
it's a good song, and I love it.
Down,
you hear it so much. Palm Brinks is a good one, though. I'm excited to play it.
I like it because there's a lot of the music in Dark Cloud 2. I just love the sound of, and Palm Brinks has like a distinct town theme for me that I just enjoy with the harmonica.
Oh yeah, this Palm Brinks sounds like it sounds like a town, but like it doesn't sound like a town like Florum or it doesn't sound like Dayling City or Astera. It's got a completely different feel. It fits Palm Brinks perfectly, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So here we go. We'll go ahead and get it started. This is Palm Brinks from Dark Cloud 2.
I like the Palm Brinks theme. It uses like a harmonica as the main instrument, like a harmonica and
No.
a xylophone.
I'm gonna
Not xylophone. Sorry.
No. I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now because I realized that I was a dummy, a super big dummy.
Yeah.
There's no harmonica. In
No,
this
it's not
song at all.
harmonica. It's accordion.
It is dual accordions.
Yeah, I don't know why I almost said xylophone when I meant accordion, but that's absolutely what is the main instrument. It's
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I got that before we got comment blasted with being like, you're dumbass.
yeah, yeah. And like I for some reason
I like
could
the
not
song
think of the
because
word.
the accordion.
Yeah.
So
Not many times do you hear.
Here's where you're gonna. All right, hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and redo my line from earlier. That way you can just cut and edit that in. I like this song because of the accordion sounds.
Oh yeah, the accordion sounds are great in this. Not often do you hear a town that's made strictly out of accordion music.
No, it's strictly accordions. I mean, the whole town. I mean, don't you remember every building had like an accordion on it?
But yeah, it's a good song. Definitely a good song. When you hear it for a long period of time, it starts to make you go a little insane because it kind of has that organ grinder monkey circus theme, which if you've played the game, you understand why it's got that circus theme.
You need a ticket to get in.
This is the kind of song that both drives you insane, and at first you're like, okay, I can dig this. But then after you've heard it for a couple hours, you're like, oh my god, I hate it.
Yeah, after you've been like, okay, let's go to the circus. Okay, now let's do this. Okay, now let's do this. I'm just like, I'm still in this town.
It's like you gotta go back to Palm Brinks and you gotta do that running thing to recruit Sheriff Blankhorn. You're like, I don't want to. But that was good. You returned to RPG. So I'm now going to play. Now, I've got more tracks. I didn't want to play this one at the end. I want to save it for kind of this near middle area we're at here. I think, personally, that this might be on one of your top lists. Because at the end of the year, we want to do a top 10 of all the songs we played that year. And I can tell you, I mean, we've only had 2 episodes, but this is already my favorite song that's on the first 2 episodes we played, but I think it's going to stay pretty high up. This is for... This is for... And I'm a huge fan of this game. I'm not even gonna lie. It's from DFO. Or as Korean call it, Dungeon and Fighter, DNF, right?
Oh my god.
Level with me on this. This isn't any of the...
game in forever.
This isn't any of the town themes I'm going to play. Not the good ones. I am playing Salif, the Village of Spores.
Oh my god.
Now, bear with me, this has town/village in the name. Completely legal. But this is not...
It is...
This is not a peaceful track, but I love it. So how'd you like that?
That that took me on a journey, and I loved it.
Right? Like, I don't know the
I mean,
songs we're gonna play throughout this year,
right off the
but
bat, I mean, you're just like, oh man, this
and then this sort of hits the boom 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 boom
like,
boom
this is what I'm
boom,
gonna start
boom,
jamming
boom.
to.
Right? I was trying to pick out songs for this episode, and inspiration hit me while I was driving the other day, and I was like, wait a minute, and I played this. I was like, oh my god, this song is so good.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know what
I
we're gonna
agree
play
with you
throughout
on
the
that.
year,
It's-
but I know for me, this is my top track we've played so far.
those laser effects in the background.
There's just so much to it, and it's so amazing sounding. It's like pumped. It's unexpected for the episode to say the least, but I love the rhythm. It's just a good one. Definitely a contender.
That one's definitely going to be an up there
Oh
for
yeah.
me
Oh yeah.
because it's a heavy tune.
It's
and
a
I really
jam.
like it.
It's a jam.
It is a jam.
That's all I can say is it's just a jam.
Yeah, and man, I can't believe I forgot about DFO. Oh my god.
Great list of music in that game. Again, it's a PC game. It's a Korean MMO that has been abandoned and remade multiple times. Known in Korea as DNF, but great music. The whole game has great music, and every level is great. But this one just came to me because I was like, wait a minute, it's called City of Spores. That totally fits with city/town. I'm doing it.
It does fit. It didn't have to be just like, go, oh, welcome to our town. You can shop and sleep and stuff.
Because don't get me wrong, the game has peaceful town, traditional RPG, what we've heard multiple times throughout the episode. But that's not what I went with.
I mean, it's a dungeon.
Oh yeah.
So it's a town that's been corrupted, and you're there to
Yeah.
wipe out
Yeah.
what's there.
For all intents and purposes, it's a dungeon theme, but since it has city in the name, it is legal for this episode.
It is. And going off of this, my next track, I'm torn between two because one of them that I have fits the MMO line. The other one that I have does fit the City Under Siege factor. So it's more of kind of like a theme that plays while you're fighting stuff. So damn. What do I
Both
wanna
work.
pick?
That being said, City in War was another one I was thinking from Bravely Default.
That's good.
It's a good one. It's another good one.
You know what? Here we go. I'm gonna go with in the vein of a town or / city under attack. I've chosen a track from Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. And this is called The City in Flames.
Very good. I'm looking forward to this.
It's a fun game. I'll talk more about it after we get this listening. So let's go ahead.
I like this. I like how you don't have to have a real strong melody, a real strong rhythm to make a good town theme.
No,
And then this part comes in, and it's it's not too heavy.
No, I mean the whole song isn't heavy at all. I mean the city in flames at this point. Yeah, I mean you do fight stuff, but I mean it's like at this point in the game, you're coming up, you're looking at what's happening. It's it's a tragedy. All the shit's like torn down. People have just been attacked and everything like that. And it's the whole game has a nice soundtrack to me, and I know a lot of people are on the fence about how the Lords of Shadow series went.
I mean, I like it. I like its retelling.
I mean, and that's the thing is, it's its own continuity. It's nothing to do with the main storyline, and it's a nice little refresher for me. And with its aspect of instead of being a side scroller, it is an action kind of hack slasher kind of series at this point, which I mean still very much fits Castlevania.
Yeah. All right, Matt. So the last two songs have been a little heavy. We could say, right? One is heavy in rhythm, the other one's heavy in emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So what better to balance that out? I have two that perfectly balance this out. I'm gonna go with a game you've probably never played, and a game I admit I've never even played it because it's for the Genesis, and Genesis has great games, but I never owned one when I was younger. So a lot of the soundtracks, so a lot of the soundtracks I never heard. Shout out goes again to Legacy Music Hour for this one. This song is amazing. This is Shining Force 2, Lively Town. What better to balance out the last two songs with a lively town?
Whoa, Shining Force.
I think you're gonna like this one a lot, though.
I'm actually honestly looking forward to it.
Let's go. That's Shining Force 2, Lively Town.
I will definitely say with the title of Shining Force, it definitely has like the 80s, just like, Shining Force kind of thing going on for me.
Right? And this is another great song.
It is. It's very much a great song. Now, the feeling I get from the sound of Lively Town is a used car salesman that really just wants your money.
It almost has that right here.
To Lively Town.
Right here in this rhythm.
Yeah.
Man, but
come on down.
This is a good one though. I mean, honestly speaking, this is probably. I mean, there's been so many good tracks this episode, but this is another one of my favorite ones.
I, I will definitely say that yes, I agree with you on
It's
that. I
just
mean,
good,
I've never, I've never heard of this game to be honest, and I'm really sad that I've never owned a Genesis to play with
right?
Shining Force.
Right? Like, because I mean, I never owned a Genesis, but great. I mean, that doesn't mean that doesn't have the system doesn't have good songs, and this song right here is really really nice. I'm liking it a lot, and it goes it goes through so many different parts. It like tells a story.
Yeah, it does. Going back to I guess our good old class, the earlier mentioned MMO, and I will say this was the nighttime version of this particular city
Okay.
because it's I mean they both sound similar when you hear them, but to me the nighttime version has a better sound to it,
Okay.
and when I hear it, it definitely like with earlier, like it gives me all right, I'm in this setting.
Hmm.
I feel like I am this character at this point walking through the city.
So what game is that?
Well, the game is Final Fantasy 14.
Great music. Final Fantasy
Oh,
14.
wait a minute.
Amazing music in this whole game. But I want to give a huge shout out to Soken, who does the music for most of Final Fantasy 14. He is an amazing composer. Every encounter in that game, every giant fight, even the raids, the dungeons, they all have really good music. Like, really good music. Um,
They really do.
I'll probably play quite a few songs from 14 as we go through this podcast.
All right, so this is the nighttime theme of Ul'dah, the I guess like the first starting city, basically, in the game, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Uh, but the subtitle of the song is called Sultana Dreaming.
This is a good one. This is a really good one.
It's very peaceful.
Really peaceful song, and I really like this rhythm right here. It definitely gives you the feeling of, because this city's really like it's kind of pompous because it's like a capital. It's got all the money in the world basically, and
Yeah.
the nighttime just has this like peaceful strolling the town of this very wealthy, kind of prosperous is the word I'm looking for, city.
Yeah. Yeah, prosperous. Yeah, it's, and like I said, for me, I love, because I mean, it chills me out. It's very peaceful,
It's a very good
and
song.
yeah, I mean, and whenever it was nighttime in that game, and I was in that city, and had to do something in there, I did take my time.
Oh yeah, I'll
Yeah.
because Final Fantasy 14, a lot of the times you'll be in queues waiting to do dungeons and things like that, and I'll sit in the city a lot when I'm playing it because I still play it to this day. I'm a 14 player and I love it. It's one of my favorite games actually. I've called it the Final Fantasy I've always wanted. I could go on for hours talking about it, but let's not fill the
Yeah.
episode with that.
No. We'll save that for another time.
Maybe 14 Focus someday though, or
Yeah,
possible.
could be.
So
What are you thinking next? What are you thinking next?
I've got so many I want to play next. I'd like to give a shout out to ones I'm not gonna play because we are running out of time. Maybe two more songs each, then a closing. I'm thinking, or one
Okay.
more each, then a closing. But here's some shout out to ones that were on my list that unfortunately didn't make it this episode. Super Mario RPG Mushroom Kingdom, great song. Lufia 2, the town theme. It's just a good old fashioned JRPG, peaceful, calming town theme. We've heard a lot of them. That doesn't mean it's not just as good. It's a great song, but trimmed it out because it fits a lot of them.
Yeah.
And another one I'm not gonna play this episode, but we might hear it later. Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Fireburg.
Oh my god.
It's just a good town theme. But what I'm gonna play next is it's another one that I love just running around in this city. This is from another Square game, Chrono Cross. This is another Termina.
Now this is a great game, and
Great
I
game
mean,
and fantastic
picked a-
soundtrack.
you picked a great town to go with for it.
Oh yeah, Chrono Cross. I mean, I could have done this whole episode literally just on Chrono Cross town themes because I think there's 12, and I could have picked all of them. They're all amazing. But I had to pick one because I don't want to repeat games. So I went with another Termina. And the reason there's another there is, without divulging into the game, there's basically two versions of each city. And this is the city Termina, and this is the another version of it. So this is another city that you find yourself running around through multiple times throughout this game, but every time I come here, I love hearing the song.
It's a great theme. I really it's fun. It's a very fun theme, and there's two things that I can take away from this, and I'm not sure if they are, but it sounds like bagpipes.
Yeah, it's definitely got a bagpipe feel. It's got bagpipes. It's got kind of like the maracas almost, the shaking.
Yeah. I would absolutely love to hear a cover of this song with a dude on the bagpipes.
Oh, that would be amazing. I would love that.
But the second thing that I take away from this is when they composed this song, it's just like, man, we need something else. We need another sound in there. It's just like some guy twanging a spring, and it's just like, that's the sound that we need.
Huge shout out to the composer of Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, Yasunori Mitsuda.
Thank you for giving us the twangy and the bagpipes.
Go ahead and give me your next, Matt, and then I got one more.
Alright, so my next track actually has vocals in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I chose a JRPG track that I had a lot of fun with playing. Some of the controls were a little wonky if you wanted to use the actual dual screen function of the DS.
If I know what you're describing, I'm pretty sure I know what's coming up, but give us that title.
Okay, well, the title of this song is called Calling. I guess instead of town, I should say district of a town.
Okay.
This is a game. This is a Square Enix game that came out on the DS a good ways back, but I actually just recently had I believe a Switch remaster, which I need to get my my grubby little hands on. But the game is called The World Ends With You.
Let's get into it. Yeah, this is a great song. This is one that sticks with you.
It is. It stuck with me through the entire playthrough of the game. I mean, there's a lot of really good tracks in it, and there's like a lot of like the battle themes that I really like. So I can't wait to bring this game back to another episode.
Oh yeah. This is one we'll probably definitely hear more of.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it's. And yeah, and hey, you know, it's our first vocals track from the video game.
That's true. Yeah.
But I mean, you hear that beat, that beat's great. Bass in the back. I just love that beat so much, and like for like the town theme, and it plays like through like conversation as well. So like I'm always happy whenever I get to like the part of the game where this song kicks in because I'm just like I love it so
Oh yeah,
much.
this is a really good one.
I really get in the groove with this song. Oh man.
Yeah, it's a really good one. I like this a lot. This is definitely one I would not mind playing while I just do stuff around the house, drive, anything like that. I love the song to rock to.
Well, I mean, a cool function of the game was you could actually collect or unlock, and
Yeah.
like you could just play the tracks
Oh
and
yeah.
just have like a jam going.
Oh yeah. All right, Matt. So it's time for me to play my last song.
Final song.
I have a lot of. I already gave all my shout outs. One final shout out to Final Fantasy VI. Kids Run Through the City. That was one we were thinking for the intro, but it ended up. We just changed our mind. We didn't want to do too much Final Fantasy. So
Yeah, no, we didn't want to. That would be too easy.
yeah, we had to change it a little bit. So my final track, it's gonna be for the Switch, and Final Fantasy is a successful series, but you know what else is a successful series?
What's
Mario.
that? Which Mario is this one going to be from, Derek?
This is from the newest Mario Odyssey, and I'm gonna play New Donk City. And technically, this whole city is a world because of the way Odyssey works. But let's get into it. New Donk City. I love what Koji Kondo does with this song. Koji Kondo, the sound director for pretty much the whole Mario series franchise as a whole. I really love how this song is. I mean, what it is you're running through a city and there's just a absolute grooving, like sideshow band just playing, and they're jamming out, and that's what the song is, and that's what it feels like.
That's really awesome, and I mean, I will say I have not had the privilege of playing Mario Odyssey yet, but it is definitely on my list to get to build up my my Switch repertoire.
Oh, it's a great game.
Games.
But I love how we previously talked about you can hear, certain instruments, whereas this game, it's not like they use instruments as an influence. Like, this is straight up just... there's saxophone, there's piano, there's... it's literally just a band.
Yeah, it's a nice little jazz... not really jazz band, but it's like a... crap, what am I thinking of? It's a... Because it's not the brass band.
It's like a jazz swing.
I know, yeah, kind of, yeah. I guess you could say it's more like a jazz swing.
But you can hear the brass, you can hear the sax, you can hear the instruments.
Oh yeah.
Really like that one.
It's a song like with these instruments and the style it's being played in definitely says this is the welcome to the big city, kid.
Yeah, it's straight up. Welcome to Hollywood. Welcome to we're gonna play. There's just a band just grooving, and as you walk down the city. So Matt, why don't you give us your final track and your honorable mentions?
Well, I'll start off with my honorable mentions. I will say I actually used a majority of everything that I had. So I only have two honorable mentions that I have to go off of, and one is Kingdom Hearts 2, Twilight Town. This is feeding back to our Palm Brinks discussion from Dark Cloud of a song that will drive you insane because you are going to be in this town for quite a while, but
you really are.
It's still a very memorable theme song for a town.
Oh yeah.
And my second honorable mention is Final Fantasy VII, Cosmo Canyon.
Oh my god! Guess what our closing track is, Matt?
Is it Cosmo Canyon?
It is Cosmo Canyon.
Ah, darn. Well, in that case, if it's going to be Cosmo Canyon, I'll give my second honorable mention instead to Okami, the Dragon Palace. So let me go ahead and load up Cosmo Canyon for you.
I have it here.
It's a town.
I have it here. That was going to be the song I was going to play for the closer.
Well, there we go. Cool. We actually matched up.
So I guess we're going to end it on this track. It's funny, we both picked a lot of tracks in case we had a matchup, and we did. Our last track is a matchup.
Our last one. I like how actually that was that ended up being the case, being the last one. But yeah, so Final Fantasy VII, Cosmo Canyon. Well, that's our closer. Remember to share, like, subscribe. If you have any honorable mentions of your own, leave them in the comments. Tell us, did you like these tracks? Have you played any of these games?
Pick your favorite track, yeah. Pick your favorite.
Yeah, pick your favorite track.
Throw in additional ones down there, and they'll be considered for the next time we do a town episode.
All right, so Derek, let's go on a hiking tour of the canyon.
And since we're closing on this one, I do want to talk about it a little bit. I really like this song because it's not a typical city. It's got a very native feel. You go to this place, there's not really buildings. Everything is built into the side of a canyon. I really like this song. Is what I wanted to end the episode on. Here it goes, Cosmo Canyon. I hope you liked the episode, everyone, and enjoy this peaceful send-off.
Goodbye.